Hey, what's up everybody? JayborinoPlays here. I've got another HeptaCraft replay cast for you. This was actually from the previous tournament, but this was a game that I did not get to see, but I was told it was really, really good. We have WinterSC in the bottom left, playing as Raiders, Terran sub-faction, against summerloud, playing Covenant in the upper right. This is a matchup we've seen in the past, and honestly, it's really, really interesting to see, specifically when you get into like advisor play and things like that, laying down those nanomachine clouds. Very, very good counter to Terran mech. Anyway, both of these players are very good. I mean, Winter, we saw come in second place in the tournament. We saw some of his really, really good Terran plays in the tournament. And you know what? After casting that tournament, the finals themselves, I think, weren't the best games compared to some of the better games that I was able to showcase prior to it. So I feel like maybe I'll put this game out soon after to kind of give you a nice closing feel for that tournament. Also very fitting that we have Winter versus Summer. I believe this was in the winner's bracket. Anyway, it looks like summerloud laying down his Teldream Anvil. Very standard opener. You get that Mobius magazine and your Teldream Anvil so that you can get your devotees to start running across the map. We have a mule from Winter Starcraft. Slowly booping its way across the map so that it can scan. I say this every time we see those. They're morphs, not mules. And they don't actually harvest. They just repair your mechanical units. So they're really, really good at scouting. Alternatively, you could drop some cash to scan. But that's up to you. Actually, no, I take it back. Scanner Sweep requires an engineering bay. All this time, and I didn't know that. Now I know. But that's pretty neat. Anyway, the mule can move around. The mule actually getting attacked by one of Summerloud's Mobius SCVs. This is actually taking some mining time away from Summer. Is it worth it? I don't know. You decide. And out comes the first devotee, starting to move that Teldream mothership slowly across the map to get that devotee to spawn as close to the enemy base as possible. Keep in mind those devotees have like a 4.2 movement speed. It's crazy how fast they are. I think that since the tournament, they've been up to 150 minerals. And I also believe that the Ascendance, the cooldown's been increased to like 14 or 16 so that you can't just get Ascendance boom, 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 assuming you have the gas. Because keep in mind, that's where you see the tables turn for Covenant a lot, is when they just, all those dead devotees start paying off into Ascendance. But you know, it's really up to you, the Covenant player, how you decide to let those devotees die. Alternatively, you keep them alive because they can do a lot of damage. WinterSC, though, is completely walled in and getting a bunker, probably assuming because he saw that Summerloud was Covenant. This is game 3 for these players. They went 1-1. So they were able to pick their own race. So Winter did see Summer, didn't have to random, picked Covenant, knows that that devotee is coming. I mean, if you ever play Covenant and that person playing Covenant has played more than 1 or 2 games, you can assume that these devotees are going to start coming out this way. Summerloud probably trying to right-click up this ramp. That's why the devotee didn't quite make it. And we see a second... Oh, there it is. I was looking at the command dome, and I was looking to see where is it down here. It's because it's up here. We have Summerloud taking a fast early expansion as WinterSC deciding to go for a 1-1-1 build, making 1 Vulture and starting his starport, so probably going to go for some Vulture drops. It's something we saw him do many times in previous games. The devotee not able to get up the ramp. That's right! I have not said Blood Hunter 1 time, except this 1 time when I said I wasn't going to say Blood Hunter. That's 2 times, Jayborino! What are you doing? Anyway... What's going on with this Teldream mothership? Throwing down a fast Teldream Citadel because he probably wants to get those Ascendants, but he has no dead devotees. 1 devotee getting in the base. Again, that may have been a purposeful sacrifice by Summerloud. I mean, he saw the supply depot go down, decided to get in there because, number 1, he got a little scouting info. Maybe any damage he could get done is fine, but then on top of that, he needs dead devotees so he can get Ascendants. Here comes 1 Vulture from WinterSC coming across the map. What do we have coming out? A Mobius Engineering Department, which allows him to get upgrades for his Mobius units coming out from Winter. Not Winter, Summer, excuse me. Winter's the one with the Vulture. Excuse me if I've been misspeaking. And there's his first Ascendant. We'll see if he has more. He doesn't have any energy, meaning no other devotees had died, but because he's got the Citadel, he's able to get more when he's there. Now, keep in mind, he's walled himself completely in. He's able to take a fast natural behind his base. That's totally safe. No way to get back there without drops or air units, which is probably what we're going to be seeing now coming from Winter, as we saw now. There's his dropship with 4 Raiders in it. These dropships can be upgraded to Cloak. Very cool. Raiders is... I mean, they are raiders. They are what you would expect when you hear someone called a raider. You know, they come in with a cloak dropship, drop some vulture bikes on you, take out a bunch of minerals, and then skedaddle out of there. Here are 2 more vultures coming back, getting picked up by this dropship as he's going around probably to the natural of Summerloud. Does Summerloud have any idea that this is coming? It doesn't look like it. Nope, he's just going to get dropped on, and it's going to be very painful to watch. Here go the 4 the 4 Raiders and 2 Vultures, and is summerloud going to react to this? Down goes 1 orbital strike, not enough energy for a second. The Mobius SCV is actually deciding to attack with their remaining lives, these Vultures specifically, getting rid of tons and tons of stuff. Here comes an Ascendant. Any Psionic Orb coming out, he has enough energy for 1. As Winter uses that dropship to move these Vultures up into this mineral line. Summerloud doing his best to hang on, losing tons and tons of SCVs, though, missing 1 orbital strike. He has almost enough energy for another one. 1 Vulture going down to that slow Warbot and Ascendant as they slowly try to make their way. The other Vulture getting surrounded by SCVs and killed by the SCVs. 1 Cobra out from Summerloud going to try to chase down this dropship. These Cobras don't do a lot of damage, but they can move very, very fast when they're not attacking. And fast rates from WinterSC, very interesting. He figured, I mean, once you build that starport, you might as well make something out of it if you have the money. Winter Starcraft just getting his second base saturated now. I mean, not really saturated. He's just starting to saturate it. Winter, though, losing all of his units at his specifically. Winter Starcraft ahead by, 8 harvesters isn't a huge difference. It won't be a huge difference as time goes on. Right now, it actually kind of is, but we'll see what happens. Summerloud saying plans thwarted indeed. Anyway, you see Summerloud, he walled himself in. He used his mothership to rearrange space-time to move that Mobius magazine, so now he's no longer walled in. We do have this 1 Wraith pecking away at these SCVs. We have droids and warbots coming in. These droids, they can learn nano repair. I think in the most recent patch, like just today, he unlocked it so that nano repair, you don't have to research, but you can get an upgrade to make them do it a little faster. And I think that improves the viability of Mobius mech, which is quite interesting also. This Ascendant is still here. No other devotees coming out. Summer trying to saturate his second expansion. No gas yet. And what do we have here? Another barracks. So probably a lot of bio play from WinterSC. Tons and tons and tons of production coming out from Winter. He's getting U-238 shells, which increases the range on these Marines, or Raiders rather, excuse me. And +1 ground upgrades. What is this right here? Fast tracks. This increases the movement and turning speed for warbots. Keep in mind, those can shoot while moving, so they're really, really good at chasing things down, but they do have a very slow 2.8 movement speed for early game, so that's a really interesting upgrade to be able to get. It may also cost Terrazine, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Nope, neither player looking like they've spent any yet, unless they both spent the exact amount. Summerloud trying to resaturate this base and leaving units down here to keep an eye out for any drops, setting up some missile batteries, very good defensive structures. We have a sneaky third base here from Summerloud. One interesting thing Covenant could do is float their mothership over and rearrange space-time to get a command dome under here, or over here rather, on the rich mineral fields, but you gotta float that real slow mothership instead. Looks like we have a Mobius heavy build here from Summerloud, and excuse me, yes, Summerloud. Summer, winter, it's 2 different things. Anyway, bio heavy build from Winter. Winter probably knowing that those advisors with the nanomachine cloud very good against Raiders mech, so instead deciding to go mass bio. And the supply isn't that huge. It's not that different. U-238 shell is going to be finishing up here pretty soon. 1 tank coming out from Winter. And is that... there's Nanomachine Cloud. Summerloud, I don't think really realizing what's happening down here. I mean, he does see 2, 3 barracks. So, I mean, the advisors are going to be good, but not that good against a mostly bio build, because the Nanomachine Cloud, I don't believe, does damage to biological units. So it really just depends on what Winter decides to do here. We do have a Tal'Darim mech pit being set up. If we can see some Vanguards, well... Harriers, not Vanguards, come out from Winter, that would do very well against the bio build, but I'm not sure. Firebats also included in here. We have 1 advisor being used to scout, and it can use that single recall perhaps to pull in 1 really good unit like an Ascendant that can Psionic Orb into this worker line. That would be quite interesting, but here goes WinterSC on the offensive. The question is, will he be able to push through this reasonably sized group of Summerloud? The big question is, how will the Psionic Orb get thrown? The Psionic Orb could make a huge difference, but it really just depends on where it goes. I'm also keeping an eye on this advisor. It's moving in right now. Winter also deciding to move in. What's going to happen? The advisor just sitting here. Meanwhile, Winter's starting to move in, and this group by Summer needs to get into his base. And again, the big question, in my opinion, is when and where is the Psionic Orb going down? I think Winter has to be very careful to avoid this. The Ascendant now throwing down the Psionic Orb. Huge Psionic Orb doing a ton of damage. The field medics doing their best to do some damage. These droids doing a little bit, but not very much. And the Warbot's actually cleaning up here. Only 2 Raiders left. Everything left here is a field medic. And those field medics are decent. Their healing rate isn't enormous, but it's really not bad. And Summer being able to hold on, but down significantly in supply. What's the income look like? Winter is ahead in supply and significantly in Harvesters. The big question, though, summerloud can make those really, really powerful units, specifically those Harriers. He has one coming out here. One Harrier can turn a battle enormously. We've seen it specifically in a Raiders v Covenant matchup. This missile battery doing its best here. How many workers have been taken out, though? 32 workers killed by Winter is painful. Painful to see. I assume there was another small drop here that I missed as I was talking about the Harriers possibly turning the tide here. One Harrier is going to be done against this amount of Raiders. I'm not sure. Efficient circuits, what does this do? It increases your advisors. The thing is, we have a lot of stuff coming out for advisor upgrades, but again, Summer has seen that we have a mostly bio makeup here, so I'm a little nervous. There's the Harrier. If it can catch these units on the ramp, this would be huge. One big Harrier shot, and the Harrier deciding when to shoot, and actually, between the Predators and the Warbots, wiping out that bio, Summerloud closing the gap. That was enormous. Most of the supply difference is actually in Harvesters, and Summerloud does have this expansion that's completely hidden, and I don't think Summer or Winter would ever have a reason to even come up here and look for this. Winter, though, still going mostly Raiders. No field medics out right now, but he is building more along with Firebats. He does have a Fusion Core coming out, which is where you get a lot of later game upgrades. Where are you, Fusion Core? I'd like to find you, so I want to see exactly what you do. It's building right now. I mean, I assume you get battlecruiser upgrades, but probably something else. We have +2 ground upgrades, +1 air and ship upgrades coming out from Winter, whereas Summerloud getting that nano repair. So really, really cool Mobius mech play. That's not something we see too frequently, and there's the nano repair that's coming out very, very, very slow, and I think that that's why it was unlocked. He's unlocked it by default now in the more recent versions of HeptaCraft because of how slow it is. I don't think it would ever make a huge difference, but you can upgrade it to do a little bit more, which is quite nice. And when you get enough of them, they can stack heal, so I can see the difference there. These Predators, they do 29 damage versus light. That is real good. They don't do the AoE damage like you would have seen in the Wings of Liberty campaign, but 29 damage versus light is crazy if they can get in there. They are pretty weak. Winter going ahead and throwing down a scan thinking, oh, well, Summer doesn't have a third base, so I'm probably ahead in terms of macro. I'm not entirely sure, though. This Harrier, though, 3 kills, but the amount of damage it did to those bio units was very, very noticeable. Summer once again saturating this base, and we've seen it go down twice. We've seen a lot of these workers go down twice, specifically to vulture drops. And here comes a small group, a small group of infantry. We'll see what they're able to do and see. We have 5 tanks set up at the third base of Summerloud, though, so one Predator moving around here, scouting out this small group of units. You can see how fast it kills these Marines, and will it be able to get out of there? This Predator able to just skirt out with its life to be healed up by droids eventually. Winter scanning to see this large group of Summerloud. The Summerloud, though, again, I'm curious to know what he's going to use these advisors for, possibly for cloaking field, but scans can just completely nullify that. Unfortunately, I think in the bio matchup, advisors are not the way to go, unless you can throw down a nano machine cloud inside of the worker lines, which would be huge. We can see that Summerloud hasn't been able to do that yet, though, because of no workers killed. We do have a hybrid cell out there, so possibly some hybrid Reavers, depending on if he gets any. Oh my word, did he lose more SCVs? Probably not too many. He did lose a couple, but the workers killed count is hugely favoring WinterSC, and he keeps killing workers to make sure that gap stays relevant, so that's very interesting. More missile batteries going down, and Summer trying his best to hold on to these expansions. We have a small group of infantry here. Again, I'm very curious to see what they're up to. And these Warbots are actually quite good. They're very, very bad initially, but when you get a Fast Tracks upgrade with some upgrades, with some +1 upgrades on these guys, they can do quite good. And here's that Predator. You can see how much damage it did, and I actually think maybe the aggression in the editor set for these Predators might be a little lower because these Marines weren't focusing on the Predator, even though it's right in their face, so it's possible that the aggression level of the Predators is set a bit lower than that of the Warbots, which is why the Marines ignored the Predator. It actually makes a big difference. Like, if I was, knowing that, and I feel like it's a bit of an exploit, I would make Warbots and Predators against a bio build, just Warbots and Predators, because the Predators will annihilate all of those light units like crazy. So here's this advisor just hanging out. Got some Marines down here. And I feel like Winter has not taken another base. Summerloud able to maybe close the gap, but we do have 2 battlecruisers on the field. No tactical jump right now, and it doesn't look like it's in the pipe, but 2 more battlecruisers coming out from Winter. And what does Summer really have against these battlecruisers? Really just warbots. He does have a hybrid Reaver, and I'm really scared. I'm really scared for Summerloud when he sees these battlecruisers. Winter just unsieging his tanks, though. That's crazy. Trying to lay down his 4th base as Summerloud is moving across the map. I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen in this engagement right here. Those droids also have their own attacks. Summerloud realizing he's pushing into tanks right now. We have a cloaking field going down, which is going to allow him to get a few free shots off before pulling out, realizing that there's going to be a scan, possibly seeing these battlecruisers. Was he able to see the battlecruisers? I don't know. It would have been close if he would have been able to catch those, maybe realizing he needs to get some sort of anti-air for those battlecruisers. What are the choices for... I hear attacks. There was a drop up here. Another Raiders drop going into the main mineral line of Summerloud. And again, I'm not really sure what Summerloud can do to counter those battlecruisers for Covenant. He needs some sort of anti-air, probably hybrid Nemesis, or not Liberators, whatever they're called. These, yes, frigates. You read my mind, Summerloud. He's got those out to fight the battlecruisers, but he's just constantly getting harassed like crazy by Winter. And one thing in HeptaCraft is that harassment like this, I think, doesn't necessarily end the game like you used to see it in vanilla. In vanilla StarCraft, if you get harassed and you lose your mineral line twice, you're probably out of the game unless your opponent makes a huge mistake. You can see that Summerloud is still very much in this game. WinterSC, though, nearly maxed out and getting his first supply upgrade. We have Tesla Cannon coming out for Summerloud that will allow these frigates to do a faux Yamato Cannon. It's not as good as Yamato Cannon, but it does give them some sort of good anti-ground mechanism. And here comes a large group of Raiders. We see one shot from the Harrier doing a huge amount of damage. No field medics, though, as this group goes down. It's going to be crazy. One big nanomachine cloud. I've eaten my words about the advisors. Advisors, you've done your job. Taking out at least 1 siege tank right here as the others reposition. 2 siege tanks going down. That was a huge nanomachine cloud as that frees the ground out a little bit for Summerloud to do his best. We have a semi-Cold War. These 4 battlecruisers, though, scare the bejesus out of me. I don't know if these frigates will be enough. How much damage do they do? They do more against light. The question is, will these Lexington rockets be enough? We have nanomachine cloud going down. You can see not doing anything. Yamato Cannon, though, going down, taking out 1 frigate and severely damaging another one. Get those droids in there to try to repair it. The supply really isn't as far apart as I would have expected. We do have advanced ballistics coming out and another Harrier. Advanced ballistics increases the Harrier range. We have 4 advisors on the field. What can these really do, though? I'm not entirely sure. Winter trying to keep them out in the front to see if he can use those to great effect. They're actually getting Yamato'd right now, but again, I think it's the frigates that Winter needs to be careful of. These battlecruisers are a huge advantage for him. And we have so many upgrades coming out for Summer. If he can hang on for these to finish, it's possible he'll be able to hang on. And there's the Tesla Cannon going down, almost taking out a battlecruiser. Trying to take out one frigate going down, 2 frigates going down. These warbots, though, can attack air. The question is, how effective will they be? 3 weapon plating, 7 damage. They're doing 4 damage a shot. They attack kind of fast, but still. And what are we gonna have down here? We have another nanomachine cloud going down. That actually does decent damage against these battlecruisers. He loses 1 battlecruiser to the nanomachine cloud. That is huge. That is huge. Meanwhile, we have 3 hybrid Reavers here for Summerloud. We do have pretty comparable armies here. The supply has evened up, and what upgrades do we have here too? Graviton Prison is what hybrid destroyers can use to put things in stasis for a time, and then Siphon Life for those hybrid Reavers. The question is, I don't think we have any hybrid destroyers coming out. He does have hybrid experiments out right now, so he could make those if he wants. Winter deciding to push in, getting hit by those Harriers and losing a ton of health on his infantry units. It's just these battlecruisers again. These battlecruisers are really going to give Winter the advantage right here. We have only 1 advisor. Is there enough energy for a nanomachine cloud? And the only thing that can attack air are these warbots, as these warbots try to push in to do damage, but they just don't do enough. And, oh, it's so painful. Summerloud, if only would have had some more anti-air, he could have held on. And now, oh, really good orbital strikes, though, getting rid of those bio units. It's just these 2 battlecruisers now. Just 3 battlecruisers still here. And all of the ground units have been wiped out by Summerloud. He had a very strong anti-ground composition, but these battlecruisers, they go unchallenged currently. What do we have being built right here? 1 devotee is not going to be enough. We have 2 frigates being built. Will they be enough? And this poor Harrier trying to get away. 7 kills on it. A familiar Harrier, if you will, doing its best to hold on against these Firebats that are coming in and wiping out the third base. Summerloud, though, has pushed out and taken a bunch of bases around the map, which may be able to hold on for him. And here are the frigates trying to destroy these battle cruisers, but getting Yamato'd, and still no anti-air answer from Summerloud. These battle cruisers are scary. You can see they are just hanging on. And Winter also having the option to call down Morvs to heal them anywhere on the map. More raiders coming in to support these battle cruisers, and again, these battle cruisers were the answer to this match. Very intense matchup. It's not over yet, but I'm not counting the chickens, but I'm not entirely sure what Summerloud can do unless he has some sort of answer for these battle cruisers right now. Summerloud deciding to GG, saying it was a good one. I agree, that was a good one. We got to see late game options for both of these races. Very cool to see an awesome Mobius, Tal'Darim, and hybrid mix from Covenant rather than just focusing on one. Actually, we also saw around the map, if you look at the mini-map, it looks like Winter finding all of these extraneous expansions as well, which might be why Summer decided to GG when otherwise he may have been able to hold on. It's just these battle cruisers certainly won the game for Winter. Summerloud able to hold on against ground with those Harriers and did a great job. Well played by both players. We saw Winter move on. I guess it's a spoiler, but you knew that if you watched the tournament, you knew that Winter progressed in it, so I suppose you knew that he would win. But really, really great, really great game to see both of these races used to their fullest potential. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This is Jayborino, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.